What
Jesus fucking Christ. What was that?
Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep.
Welcome to Jurassic Park Interactive Security Door. Please enter your password now. 5, 8. And you're just like, fuck. Thank you for putting in your code at Jurassic Park. You're like, oh my god.
The Jurassic Park Security Console.
Yeah. Did you see Ready Player One yet?
No.
I haven't seen it yet. I wanted to see it in theaters, but I missed it.
I heard mixed opinions on it.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the end of the day, I'd probably still enjoy it myself.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. But there's a lot of critics out there about it. But maybe it's because maybe it's because of the book. They've read the book.
The problem I had, like, going into it was, like, I didn't want the referenced characters to just be references. You know, it's like, it doesn't mean anything to me that Tracer from Overwatch is running in the background. If you tell me Tracer from Overwatch zips in front, recons a bit, and zips back and goes, hey, there's like a fucking couple dudes up front, we gotta do something about it, and then she like uses her alt bomb to like blow a hole in the wall, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good like character reference to have. Like, is the Iron Giant just there? Or do they use him to fight someone big and it's like dope because you see the Iron Giant be dope?
Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah. Which is like, apparently they do it like half and half. It's like his car is the DeLorean and it works as the DeLorean do. And
Right. I kind of like the references, and obviously they bought a lot of licenses for it to work out. But
apparently a lot of that's just because Spielberg was attached. That's how they were able to get so many production companies.
Yeah, well, look at fucking... Like, every Steven Spielberg modern day movie has fucking brands everywhere. Like, just look at Minority Report. Like, they use a bunch of name brand stores in the futuristic world.
It's just funny to think that's like, if any other director had made that movie, like, it wouldn't have had half the references it did. It's just because Steven Spielberg could be like, oh, hey, Cindy, who runs the fucking licensing department over at Paramount. Yeah, can I use fucking this and can I give James Bond in my fucking thing? I don't know if James Bond is owned by Paramount, but you know what I mean? It's like, can I use this character? And Cindy be like, yeah, you come into my daughter's quinceañera? And he'd be like, you know it, I went to the first 3. Like, he knows everyone in Hollywood.
I know, he's a good schmoozer. I would say one thing, though. I think Lincoln was overhyped.
Yeah, it's just a period piece biopic. That kind of shit. I
it-
mean,
it-
Daniel
it-
Day-Lewis did
I
do
wa-
an amazing job.
Yeah, of course he did. But I would say I would say one of the worst things about Lincoln is the opening, because it's just like,
It's like an Oliver Stone.
and
man,
it's about
Before we start the movie, do you guys just want to talk about how great America is?
that's what it
Like,
was. That's what it was. And then it was like, I think it was these black guys talking about the slavery.
you got an achievement.
Yeah, like I think it was about I think it was the two African American guys talking about like the abolition of slavery, and they're like
the Emancipation Proclamation.
Yeah, and they're like dun 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 to serve and protect. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what they said. That's exactly what they just stopped and did a pattern like iambic pentameter line of like, no, motherfucker. Like, and then I watched Lincoln. I'm like, this is well done, but oh boy, I'm bored.
I've really like I think we've talked about this before. It's like I've really moved away from like the not even period pieces. It's just like the Oscar bait movie. It just
definitely.
There gets to this point where movies have kind of forgotten that they are an entertainment form. And now I'm not saying that like you should only watch Marvel movies. You should watch Marvel movies.
Yeah, no.
But Infinity War does not make sense that it's a good movie, but it is, and that's amazing. But it's like there's so many of these movies that are just fucking boring, and you can make an interesting fucking Oscar movie. Like Wes Anderson makes interesting fucking movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and he's a bad example as well because
he's a bit of a tired style though. Like I like it. But I can't say that I can be critically like appraising of it.
I haven't seen Isle of Dogs yet.
No, and I'm not saying that any of his movies are bad, but I'm also not saying that any of his movies are prolific anymore.
Yeah, it's
me.
like I just
Do you know what I mean? Because he does the same. Like let's be honest, he does the same style.
Oh, yeah, he's got a style, and
like,
he's
he does
the master
it,
of his own style.
And it becomes super predictable when I watch one of his movies. I go, oh, and there comes the shot where he does the thing. Here comes the piece of dialogue that is going to be played awkward and quietly.
Mhm.
and blah blah blah. And it's like it doesn't make the movie bad for me, but it just
You get tired of it. Yeah,
it's kind of just tired. Yeah.
Catherine hates Wes Anderson.
Oh really? Is she
Yeah.
in the same boat as I am? Like
a
with
little,
that?
a little bit. She's like she sees the style and she hates it.
Yeah, fair enough. It's very niche.
But like Gary Oldman, you know, just in the darkest hour.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, there's a lot of people who are hating on that movie because it was like, oh, look, you know, we haven't done like all these movies about these great, you know, African American heroes and stuff, which we should. Like, I'm on board.
For sure.
It's like,
I
why
have
are
no
we doing
problems.
like the 8th fucking Winston Churchill movie? And like, I'm like, yes. I'm not so much against it because he's like an old white guy who really wasn't that great of a dude. In fact, he was a notorious fucking prick.
Oh yeah.
But like,
absolutely.
I just like, we've done this. We know the World War II story.
Yeah, it's a very
You know what's annoying?
done to
They
death.
never do the fucking Pacific island like part of World War II. Like,
You mean Pearl Harbor?
well, the lead up to that, yeah. But like you know, there's
a Michael Bay Pearl Harbor.
yeah, right, yeah. But no, it's like we always get the fucking Britain versus Germany or America versus Germany
Right.
fucking story of World War II, and it's like, it's a world war. There was a lot going on in other places.
Yeah, dude. Like play like Universalis.
Where?
The game Universalis.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
It's basically a World War II simulator.
Oh, that's kind
Or
of.
I think this is the one. There's the one where the one takes place in King Arthur's time. I forget what it's called, but this one's called. I think this one is called Europa Universalis or something, or it's some sort of game like that.
Oh,
same company.
vaguely. I think I've
And you
seen.
can rewrite history with it. So you
That's
choose
kinda
Axis or Allies, and then you can start making your own fronts and stuff like that. And it goes and it does the whole World War II. It goes through
That's cool.
the World War. It's pretty sick what you can like learn with it, whilst also rewriting your own history to see what you could do different or like what would happen if you.
I guess the point I'm trying to make is it's like all these Oscar baity movies, they all have the same style, they all have the same shot composition, they all have the same plot structure,
Yeah.
especially biopics, and it's like there's so many ways that you can do something really fun while
Yeah.
still telling like a nonfiction story,
Absolutely.
you know, and I just
where
there's
are comedy biopics?
yeah.
We need more
actually, I
comedy
haven't watched
biopics.
it yet, but I really want to watch.
Oh my God,
it's-
she's gonna smoke cigarettes.
Oh my God. This game is still happening. But I really want to watch. Is it a futile gesture or something like that? A stupid and futile gesture. Oh, what's it called? It's essentially the story of the creation of a National Lampoons.
Oh,
And-
of the series?
Of like
National
the book. Sorry, not the book. The magazine that became the
Oh, okay.
company that made their own
Oh,
movies
right, yeah,
with
okay.
Animal House and
Yeah, okay.
all that shit. But yeah, it's like that's like a comedy that's also a biopic. Futile and Stupid Gesture. That's it. It's got like
Oh.
Will Arnett. I think Will Arnett's, but Will Forte. I always get those two guys mixed up. And like everyone's fucking in it. And yeah, it's like I just want more of these movies that like.
Just make it, lighthearted biopics. It's like, oh, it's a comedy, so it's not real. I'm like, there's plenty of
you know
people's
what?
lives have been funny.
There's a bit of a left field example, but Argo. Argo
was pretty
was
good.
fucking great. One, that was
Argo
the
was
movie
good.
I wanted to make back when I was a kid.
Yeah, Argo's
And I
good.
learned about this. That's hilarious. That I learned about this story that happened where the CIA faked the filming of a science fiction novel to get a bunch of diplomats out of a riot situation. And like, I'm like, that's just a fucking great story. When I'm making movies, I'm gonna make that. And then of course Ben Affleck's like, I'm gonna make this movie, guys. And I'm like, fuck. But he did a great
Yeah.
job with it. So.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, no.
Um,
I like shit like that.
And it's like they still made it funny. They did take it seriously, but like they had moments of levity, and like that was great.
Well, there's no way. Well, okay. Most of the time, someone's modern life, like barring people living in like shitty situational World War II or like deserted town or like blown up town stuff. And someone's in some big public figure's traditional modern life. Wow, the door was like, I'm looking at you. But in someone's traditional modern life, there's no way that he didn't have moments of levity. Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no way he didn't have moments of comedy where he's laughing with fun or some.
God, I'll be so pissed if they do the Robin Williams biopic and it's just all about his depression and his drug addiction and stuff. I'm like, please do cover that because it was an important part of his life, and he was the one, he said most of it. He was the one who was honest with people about it. But it's like, there's no reason that movie can't be a straight up comedy.
And also, didn't he commit suicide?
He did commit suicide.
He did commit suicide, but it was because of his brain condition.
Well, yeah, it was. I mean,
because he had a
chronic depression.
Yeah, but also he had a brain condition that apparently his brain was deteriorating at a very rapid rate.
That's sad.
And so basically, he committed suicide because he couldn't live with himself with this brain. Because basically,
You're insane.
but basically, he was like, because the doctor said like in about a year's time, you're gonna forget your family. You're gonna forget all your memories, basically.
That's a fate worse
so
than
he
death, yeah.
basically, I think something like that. I could be wrong. Like, correct me if I'm wrong.
I'll definitely be looking into that because.
Correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure I
he-
read that he had this brain condition, like along with depression, anxiety, blah blah blah. But he had this brain condition that it was very rare, and it was the doctors were like, it's in like a very short amount of time you're gonna lose all your motor function and memory and stuff like that, and you're gonna become a vegetable for the rest of your life, basically. So he really, I mean, didn't want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really knock someone for being overcome with fear based on something. I mean, that is truthfully one of my greatest fears is suffering a brain injury that I essentially become a different person. You know, I've
you know what's also kind of freaky is that we think about like the fear about it, but when you're in that zone of dementia, every day is a new day. Every day is a new day. Think about it. Imagine being
a new day where you're confused as fuck and scared and probably terrified.
It depends. Some people are happy. They wake up and they're like, "Hey, it's another brand new day," and like
so
nothing.
Excited all the people I get to meet. And stuff.
It's very interesting. It's like we say that we're worried about it, and I mean you should be because it's something that
well, it's essentially kind of like a purgatory, basically.
It is a purgatory because every day is a reset. It's a reset, and all the memories are from your childhood. That's all you can remember, or your wife. That because my dad's father has dementia right now, so he won't know who I am. I haven't seen him in years prior to the dementia. He gained the dementia when his wife died, when my grandma died. And so, basically, my dad, he doesn't know who my dad is, doesn't know who anyone is, except for his wife. He just knows his wife, and he keeps thinking his wife is still alive. So, like, when he's at the retirement residence, if he sees someone that looks like his wife, he, like, holds her hand, but, like, just silently. Like, he'll just sit on the chair, and he just goes like this. And the other person doesn't really care, because...
Old people are just like, contact with someone.
No, yeah, but it's all old folks home, right? They're all kind of just in the same boat, right? So my dad was telling me, so like I don't really care about seeing him anymore because like I know that I'm not gonna, it'll freak me too much out that he won't know who I am, and I'll be like,
yeah, I went through something similar. I was quite unfortunate and fortunate that most of my grandparents passed early on, and the grandparent that lasted the longest, except for the one that's still alive, but fuck him, no one cares. Was my mom's dad. Whatever.
It's fine.
But my grandmother who lasted the longest, she had Alzheimer's for like the last couple of years, which is why it's like I probably wouldn't anymore. But there was a while where I responded to the name Craig, which is my dad's name, just simply because she thought I was a young version of him, and my mom was like this nice lady taking care of the kids while I'm in this hospital, you know, and my dad was like, I think when she saw my dad, she kind of was like, oh, fuck, yeah, he's adult now and he's old and bearded and shit. And like she kind of came to enough, but, and then when my dad had his heart attack and he was alive, but like, we were like, you know what, my dad's dad died because of a heart attack. We're just never gonna tell grandma that, you know, my dad had a heart attack.
No.
It's not worth it. It's not gonna do anything. And this is one of the few fringe silver lining benefits to Alzheimer's was I accidentally told her one time, like literally at the dinner table. And I was just asking my dad, and I was like, so how are you feeling? You know, especially this is like a year out, or it's like, do you have any like residual effects from the heart attack? And she's like, what? Oh God. And we're like, oh, no, it's fine. And then like 10 minutes later, she was just like, pass the peas. And I was like, oh boy, thank goodness for the Alzheimer's.
The one time where you'd be like, oh, thank God I didn't like
so
throw
it's
the pot
one of those awkward moments.
My,
but it was funny, and we laugh about it in retrospect, but like my fucking dad's face was just like, oh God, you're going to cause your grandmother to have a heart attack now.
But yeah, no, with my dad and granddad, he actually just lives every day as like he's just smile on his face, doesn't know a thing. He just knows he had a wife.
There's
and
worse ways to live.
And he thinks that
Let's just agree to disagree for
and he
now.
thinks that he is she is still alive somewhere. And he always looks for her room in the thing.
Aw, that's so
That's
cute.
her way, yeah. But when my dad goes to visit him,
He
he
just
brings
gold this level.
Not that you noticed.
he brings donuts because
Yeah.
my granddad won't interact with dad
Yeah,
unless he brings
okay.
donuts. So he goes because my dad says he's the donut man. So he goes up to granddad and granddad goes, "Oh, who are you? What are you doing in my room?" And then he goes, "Oh, I have donuts. Okay, you can sit down."
That's a little dangerous. He's in a home now, so he's like protected.
Yeah,
He's
he's in security. It's all secure. He
not
has to
gonna
get,
get, like,
dad has to get access to get in here.
preyed upon by some fucking infomercial dude.
No. And so and then and then he said, This is like honestly stupid.
Did you not do it? Did you get it? If
I was
you
like,
did,
I
I
was
got a
stupid.
trick for pressing the button really
I
fast.
do, but like I'm not
Oh, you gotta do it again. Oh.
like I'm not ready for that shit.
Can he not? Is he really? It's just fucking out of the frying pan into the fire. Oh, fuck me! I forgot about that was happening.
I don't think she knew
This is
actually.
a
She didn't know about
stressful
that.
environment. Oh, you're gonna say she was fucking out cold. That's right.
Yeah. So she doesn't know about this. out of the frying pan and into the fire.
Yeah.
Oh, get on the thing, you bitch! Get on the thing! Ah, I'm dead.
That's what your girlfriend said.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Oh.
I love it when they throw them up in the air like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, careful. Oh, you're right back into it.
But yeah, see, and I was gonna say my dad. He said and then he said when Granddad is done eating, he just goes, "Okay, you can go now." And then he just,
Fucking savage. I love it.
yeah.
Oh, don't move.
Come on.
I like how
This
you
is
have
hard.
to not move. You have to move.
Yeah, you have to like balance the stupid thing.
Oh.
A little bit of a Yoshi.
There's that
Couple of Yoshis
fucking-
walking around.
I was just eating. I feel like I was doing fine.
This is like. What do you think if they had an alien Telltale?
Oh, be great.
Hey,
Actually, you know what?
If they wrote the stuff
Actually,
properly.
reverse that. I think it would be great if they made a Jurassic Park game. Like if Sega, the
like
Alien Isolation made a,
but like Jurassic Park stuff.
Yeah, or like Velociraptors and shit.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, I think I saw that on Reddit
Sign
recently,
me
and someone
up.
was like, "Fucking, why isn't this a thing?" Oh,
Woo!
he's a good boy. He got you right out of here. He earned that one.
That was the bone. That was the bone.
Yeah, that was
He
sweet.
caught the bone. He caught the selection of bones, which was her.
Maybe look to your right.
There you
Or
go.
left.
Wow, the calisthenics.
Was that completely necessary? Oh, you biffed
Doesn't
it.
matter.
Okay, it's fine. Oh, you
Yes, the T-Rex like sneaks into the.
That door was obnoxiously difficult to close.
It's because I screwed up the thing, so they're like, we're gonna make her work harder for this
Ooh,
nonsense.
rusty hinges.
Embryos.
But yeah, no, a fucking Jurassic Park game where.
He lost the embryos. He lost. The embryos.
Wow, you had one job. Fucking. I mean, realistically, wait, no, they're trying to get those
He's
out,
trying
right?
to knife. He's still in knife fight mode with these guys.
I'm gonna wrestle one.
This guy's a fucking wild card.
This dude is fucking hilarious.
Oh man. This
But yeah,
is-
no, there's like a whole bunch of games where it's like the movie or like wow, it's fucking twitchy. But like when they make these movie games, it's so uninspired, and there's so many like genres of film, or at least franchises that lend themselves to genres of games,
Yeah.
and they just don't do it, and it's so frustrating. It's like, it's a Walking Dead game. I know, let's make a first-person shooter. And it's like,
Yeah. And then when it became the Telltale one, I was like, yeah, that's
and it was
that's
like, oh,
it.
look, a story-based game that's all about choices and stuff works great. Then they're like, oh, Telltale, I know, let's make a Jurassic Park Telltale game. It's like, no, this would be great for like
Yeah.
a stealth, like survival horror game.
Yeah.
Would be fucking great. Like, look at this right now. Imagine being in full control of this dude sneaking around. This would be intense as fuck.
Yeah, and you would have your like gun or knife, or
Yeah.
depending on who.
But
you know.
instead, no, with the new Jurassic Fallen Kingdom, they're like, oh, it's a park sim. It's like,
Which is not that bad because Park Sims
I've
are
heard
pretty
actually,
good.
yeah, there was a Jurassic Evolution or whatever it's called. It's like, it's actually, people are playing it.
Yeah, it looks like if you're into Park Sims, it looks okay. I
yeah.
mean, but
But it's still, it's like, that's,
Yeah, I know
we
what you
don't-
mean, though.
No one
I know
watches
what
the
you mean.
movies because they're like, oh, I wonder how they made this. God,
Yeah.
how much did the fences cost? They're like, no, they want the fucking dilapidated, falling apart, get the embryos out of the fucking park. Like, that's the part
So
that
now they have to go back.
yeah,
Get
this
the
is
embryos.
Do they really like?
I mean,
can they
yeah,
not just
like,
wait for the coast
maybe
to
it's
clear?
just time to say I'm done doing this
Is there
job.
anyone-
I'm going to go home. I'm going to work in a deli for the rest of my life. I'm done with this nonsense.